I could keep on going with that. Probably more profound than what I'm going to share today. If you're new to this channel, I'm a big advocate of making noises, doing funny things, abnormal things with both the voice and the body to shift your state. Very simple to do and effective. And that relates to what I think I'm going to talk about for a few minutes here, which is that when we get into a lot of these manifesting ideas, you know, spirituality in general, but specifically kind of the manifesting angle that we discuss on this channel a lot of the time, it's very easy to get swept away with how teachers recommend doing things. And something we've been discussing a lot lately is that don't allow yourself to get swept away. Don't allow yourself to get swept away. Because the path for this stuff is not the devotional path. You don't want to make these teachers like Abraham Hicks or Neville or whoever's hot these days on social media. You don't want to make them your guru. You want to make them your friend and your helpful guide. But they shouldn't be seen as a guru. If you're going to have a guru, which in my opinion is a very dubious thing to have, but if you're going to have a guru, you're going to have a different relationship with them than you're going to have with someone who's dead and who you're finding out via their books or through their YouTube videos or what have you. And I know that Esther Hicks is alive, but she's not your guru. She's just, you know, a teacher. The guru-student relationship is very different. It's much more intimate, and there's a lot of exchange there. You're not going to get that with this LOA stuff with these teachers. They're going to give you helpful insights. They're going to give you their personal angles and experiences, and hopefully a bunch of really good recommendations. But my point here is that they're giving you recommendations. They're giving you their opinion. And you don't want to get too swept away by it because you already have your own opinion on many things. You already have your own approach on many things. And at first it may not be easy to admit this to ourselves, to be so kind to ourselves, but your approach and your opinions serve you well a lot of the time. And so what you want with this LOA stuff is for the opinions that you hear, the approaches that you hear, to merge and to be aligned with the approach and opinions you currently have. So it's not like you have to believe 100% of what Neville says to get a tremendous amount out of his teaching. You can just agree with a little bit of what he says, align it with your own approach and opinions in your own life, and it will be very effective. And the same goes for any teacher. But too often we see people being devotional, treating these teachers like gurus when they're not. They're not going to, it's not that kind of relationship, and they're not going to help you in that way as much as if you acknowledge your own unique individuality, your own unique approach to living, your own unique opinions that you have that have served you very well over the years. Many of those approaches and opinions that you have served you well. Even though there are some that have not, you have many that have. And you don't just have to, blindly follow a teacher's advice and not insert your own opinions and approach with it. You have to actually make it your own. You have to make it your own. And what I like to tell people is you can, again, take a very small amount of this LOA advice you hear, of this new thought advice you hear, and make it your own. You don't have to make it all your own. People don't get that, generally speaking. For instance, in my own life, making funny faces, doing that movement stuff, all my stop being serious stuff. Very few, if any, LOA teachers talk about that well. And that approach served me very well for most of my life. And it continues to serve me well. Something like anger, even my temper, anger. It's the kind of thing most LOA teachers totally do not advocate for. But I advocate for it for myself sometimes because it works well for me. That approach works well for me, utilizing my anger in productive ways, healthy ways. I know how to do that. There's very few LOA teachers that would agree with that approach. Maxwell Maltz being an exception that I can think of. But it's not like, I got to get rid of my anger because I'm into this LOA stuff now. Nope. Not like, I have to stop being funny and super fucking irreverent because I'm into this LOA stuff. That's another one. I was irreverent and it served me very well my whole life. Am I going to just stop being irreverent because I found Neville, found Abraham Hicks? Of course not. You don't have to completely change who you are. You can just modify little things. You can just hone your approach using these tools. And it will positively affect your life in a very profound way. We don't have to pretend that these teachers know everything and we know nothing. In my opinion, we don't even have to pretend that they know more than you do because they don't, as far as I'm concerned. They certainly don't know more about you than you know about you. Remember that, value yourself in that way. You are enough in that way for sure. And in that way, you truly are your own best teacher.